I need to tell you something that's been eating at me for months now, and I have a feeling a lot of you are going to relate to this. I'm 24 years old. I make $125,000 a year as a software engineer in New York City. Yeah, I know. Before you click away thinking this is about to be some, oh, look at me, I'm successful type video, relax. Because what I'm about to say is actually the opposite. It's going to make you realize how messed up things really are. See, I didn't just magically land here. I worked minimum wage jobs for almost 10 years. Retail, customer service, the kind of jobs where your manager says, "We're a family here," and then schedules you 6 days straight. I paid my way through community college, then university. Graduated with zero debt, zero student loans, which, by the way, in 2025 is basically like graduating with a Nobel Prize. I did everything right. I studied computer science, I learned to code, I got the good job everyone tells you to chase. On paper, I won. Like, this is the dream. This is the life guidance counselors sell to high school students like it's a Netflix subscription. Just work hard, go to school, get a good job, and everything will work out. Yeah, how about that? Here's what nobody tells you about that dream. My take-home pay, after taxes, is about $79,000 a year. Now, don't get me wrong, that's still good money. But here's where it gets interesting. My girlfriend graduated into one of the worst job markets in decades. Like, she picked the worst possible timing. It's almost impressive. Tech layoffs everywhere, hiring freezes, companies replacing entry-level jobs with AI, which is ironic because I'm literally part of the problem. Like, I might be coding the thing that replaces her job. So dinner conversations are fun. She's sent out hundreds of applications, hundreds. At this point, her resume has been edited more times than a Marvel movie script. She's rewriting it, tweaking it, optimizing keywords. At this rate, her resume is going to get hired before she does. She's working minimum wage jobs while waiting for literally anything in her field to open up. And now, I'm basically supporting both of us on $79,000 in New York City. We live with 2 roommates. 2! At $125K. Do you understand how insane that sounds? That's like saying, yeah bro, I'm a doctor, but I share a bunk bed. We're not going on fancy vacations, we're not buying cars, we're definitely not buying property. Buying property in NYC? That's not a goal, that's fantasy fiction. That's like saying, yeah, I'm planning to buy a castle next year. We're comfortable, but we're surviving. And that's the weird part. Because if this is what winning looks like, then what does losing look like? Because I've been there, and it's not that far off. And that's when it hit me. If someone in my position, doing everything right, is barely staying ahead, then the system isn't just hard anymore, it's broken. Like, fundamentally broken. But here's the part that changed everything for me. We don't actually have to keep playing this game. We can change the game entirely. And Gen Z might be the first generation that can actually do that. No, I know what you're thinking. Here we go, another wake up at 5 a.m., start a side hustle, drink black coffee, and suffer type speech. No. I like sleeping. I like food. I like being mentally stable. This isn't about working harder. This is about understanding reality and making smarter moves. So let me walk you through what's actually happening, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. So let's start with my girlfriend's situation, because honestly, her story is way more common than mine. She did everything right. Degree? Check. Skills? Check. Motivation? Definitely check. Timing? Absolutely cursed. She graduated right when companies started cutting jobs, right when hiring froze, right when AI started eating entry-level roles like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Entry-level jobs used to be the stepping stone. Now they're like, sorry, we replaced you with ChatGPT. Which, again, awkward. And here's the worst part. This isn't her fault. At all. This is what happens when an entire generation graduates into a completely different economy. There's actual research on this. If you graduate during a bad job market, you get what economists call a wage penalty, which basically means you start behind, and you stay behind for like 10 to 15 years. Imagine running a race, but you start 100 meters behind everyone else, and someone says, "Don't worry, just work harder." Bro, I'm already behind. And the gap? It never fully closes. That's the crazy part. Like, you can catch up a bit, but that difference follows you your entire career. So yeah, she's not failing. The system just moved the finish line. Now here's the twist. As bad as this is, it's forcing us to learn something important. We're learning how to survive without relying on the system. We're learning adaptability, income diversification, how to make money outside of traditional jobs. Basically, we're being forced to become independent, not because we want to, but because we have to. Now let's talk about college, because this one is wild. College tuition has gone up like 180%. Salaries? Flat. Flat. Like, emotionally flat. So let me translate that. You're paying way more to earn the same. That's not an investment, that's a scam with a graduation ceremony. People are leaving college with $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 in debt, and then getting jobs that barely cover rent. That's not ROI, that's a financial prank. And the crazy part is, we were all told this was the safe path. Meanwhile, trade jobs, certifications, some of those make the same or more without the debt. So now Gen Z is starting to question everything. Like, wait, do I actually need this degree? And that question alone is dangerous to the system. Now let's talk about healthcare, because this one is wild. In the US, healthcare is tied to your job, which means you're not just working for money, you're working to stay alive. That's not employment, that's subscription-based survival. Health insurance can cost like $8,000 a year, and that's before it even covers anything. You still have deductibles, co-pays, denied claims, mystery bills that show up like jump scares. And if you leave your job, good luck. Now you're paying hundreds per month for worse coverage. So people stay in jobs they hate because they literally can't afford to leave. That's not a job market, that's a trap. And then we wonder why people are burned out. Like, bro, you're not just working, you're held hostage. Now let's talk about kids, because apparently having a child now costs like $30,000 a year per child. So if you want 2 kids, congrats, that's $60,000 annually, after tax. That's not raising a family, that's running a startup. And both parents are working, so who's raising the kid? iPad? TikTok? YouTube? Congratulations, your child's first word is skip ad. And the US gives 0 weeks of mandatory paid parental leave. 0. Other countries give months. The US gives vibes. So yeah, people are delaying kids, or just not having them at all, because financially, it doesn't make sense. Now add cars into the equation, because in most US cities, you need one. Car payment, $700 plus. Insurance, $200. Gas, $150. Maintenance, surprise attack. You're easily spending $1,000 plus a month on something that loses value. That's not an asset, that's a liability with wheels. And you can't opt out, because cities are built around cars. No car, no life. So now you're paying $12,000 a year just to exist. And then people wonder why no one is saving money. Like, bro, we're not bad with money. Money just disappears. Then you've got side hustles. Everyone has one. Uber, DoorDash, freelance, selling something online. But here's the reality nobody talks about. Most people make like $20 a month. Meanwhile, YouTube be like, bro, I made $20K in 30 days. Yeah, you and 3 other people. The rest of us are out here making coffee money. And then Social Security. We're paying into a system that might not even be there. It's like subscribing to Netflix, but they might delete the platform. So yeah, after looking at all of this, I realized something. We're not losing. We're playing the wrong game. So what if, instead of trying to win here, we just change the game? Here's the idea.
What if you earn in US dollars, but live way cheaper? Countries where $1,500 a month is actually a good life, not survival, a good life. Places like Thailand, Vietnam, Portugal, Indonesia, Philippines. You get lower cost of living, cheaper healthcare, no need for a car, better work-life balance. Suddenly, $30,000 a year is enough. You don't need $2 million to retire. You might need $700K, $800K. That's a completely different game. And the best part is, remote work makes this possible. This didn't exist before. We're the first generation that can actually do this at scale. So now, instead of asking, how do I survive here? The question becomes, where does my money actually work for me? That's the shift. So here's the plan.
Simple. Not easy, but simple. 1. Build remote skills. Coding, writing, design, marketing. 2. Save aggressively. Yeah, it's boring. Do it anyway. 3. Research countries. Like actually research, not TikTok research. 4. Test it. Travel. Try living there. 5. Invest. Because freedom is built, not wished for. And that's it. This isn't giving up, this is adapting. We're not failing the system is failing us. And Gen Z? We're just the first ones saying, yeah, I'm not doing this. If this made you think or question things, or even just made you laugh a little, hit like, subscribe, and let's figure this out together. Because honestly, we're all just trying to make sense of this, and maybe, just maybe, build something better.